It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
We left off yesterday and I was in shambles, so let's try it again today. So we left off where my man and I had decided that we were going to be together. I was a little apprehensive about being happy because I had discernment in my spirit of like hurt, but I couldn't understand where that was coming from. So I just brushed it off and attributed it to my baby daddy. I'm like, whatever he's trying to do, I'm just not going to be a part of it. So we were taking our time. Of course, we were still making plans, but we made sure that we were not doing anything disrespectful other than literally planning an entire relationship. You know, now that I'm older, it's like, what were you doing? So that particular, there was a particular day where he was telling me that he was going to teach a class or to sit in on a class for a kindergarten class. I just remember a kindergarten class for sure. Again, this was years and years ago, guys. So sometimes I have little spots in my memory because, like I told you guys before, the way that I initially dealt with trauma is to just forget about it. So we were talking about it. He said he had to go teach a class that morning, the next morning, because we were on the phone that evening. He said after his class that he would he'd call me, and then he had talked to me right before he was going because he had to get on the train to take it downtown. So at the end of the day, like, I hadn't heard from him all day, and I was just like, okay, you know, I'm not gonna blow him up. I'll give him time to do whatever he has to do. The next morning, because I had fallen asleep with the baby, I wake up, I was like, he didn't text me or call me or anything. So, you know, I did the girl thing. I went on Facebook. I'm like, what is going on? And I was like, oh my God, his dad. Okay, that's why. So I'm like, let me give him some time. Now, while I'm on Facebook looking at his page, one of his best friends calls me, and he was like, did you hear? And I was like, yeah, I'm just looking on Facebook right now. Have you talked to him? And he was like, talk to him? I was like, yeah, his dad. He was like, no, it wasn't his dad that died. It was him. Y'all, my soul left my body. Literally, my soul got up and just was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Because what? So this part was so horrible because we had been talking about all this in private between us. So people didn't know. And now he's gone. What do you mean he's gone? That doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm just in shock for like ever. So I can't really call his sister, but you know, I don't know what to do. I just really don't know what to do. So I'm calling my friends, and they're trying their best because, I mean, what can you say to somebody like that, you know? So the day, it was so crazy because I wanted my mom to come with me, but somehow something happened where she didn't make it on time, and I didn't want to miss his wake. So I had to take my baby with me. And so one of my best friends came and got me. She drove from so far to come pick me up, to take me at the last minute, mind you, because I hadn't planned on asking her to take me to the wake at all. We were, you know, people were just going to go to the funeral. So she comes to pick me up, and I have to take my baby with me. And my baby knows who he is, you know. So we get to the wake, and of course I'm uncomfortable because I'm the ex, right? Of course, you know, the girlfriend should be there, or I'm not sure. But like, nobody knows this, at least to my knowledge. So we get there, and it was horrible. Like, it was horrible. It was horrible to see it. But I saw his sister, and she just hugged me so hard. And I was so concerned about her because she was doing everything. And I'm like, how are you doing this? And I remember walking up to the casket, and I was holding my baby and she was reaching for him. And I'm looking around like, is anybody seeing this? Because I didn't want anybody to see it. And then I remember laughing because I saw his suit combination. And I remember he hated that suit combination, the colors, but it was his dad's favorite. So I was kind of laughing about that. And then I went to sit down for a while and I just completely lost it. And I'm looking like a fool, y'all, because they looking like, now we know that she's not the current girlfriend. Why is she so messed up? Like, she is losing it. And I was in the back. I tried to sit in the back of the church, it was a funeral home, I think, the back of the funeral home, so that I wouldn't like cause a scene, but I couldn't hold it together. And like somebody came and got my baby, and I was like, who took my baby? I don't know if it was my friend or what. And I'm just like trying to get myself together. I'm like, I gotta go just try for a second to get myself together. So I get up and I see some of our friends in the waiting area, but I just try to go to the bathroom because I'm crying. And I go in the bathroom and I'm trying to get myself together, and I hear people come in after me. I had been in there for like 5 minutes and I was in a stall. And I hear people coming there after me, and they're like, who is that girl in the back? Why is she crying that hard? And somebody was like, I think that's his ex. And they were like, well, if that's his ex, why is she crying that hard? She crying like she was with the man. And y'all, I just lost it in the bathroom again, like literally. And they were looking like, oh no, that must be her in the bathroom. Yes, it's me in the bathroom. So I come back out and I'm like, I just have to prepare for a funeral. So I go home. At the funeral, his friends are talking to me. They at the wake. I mean, they are asking me questions, and a couple of them was like, we know. And I don't know exactly what that meant when they were saying we know, but I was assuming that they knew about our conversations. But I'm not, to this day, I'm not sure if anybody really knew. Then the funeral comes, and one of my best friends comes with me. All of my cousins come with me to support me, and it's like a row of us. And it was awful, y'all. Like, I was trying my best to hold it together because literally this is a situation. I'm at this funeral, okay? I am like 2 or 3 rows behind the family, but on the opposite side, y'all. And his current girlfriend is up there with the family and everything, and I'm over here sick, y'all, because I'm sitting here like, I can't even, like, I don't know how to explain it. I just felt like it made me feel like I was like a side chick at a funeral. It was awful. So I'm dealing with the hurt and the pain of loss, but I'm also dealing with, like, I feel like a side chick, and I can't keep it together. I know all his friends, all his family. I know y'all, I forgot about this part. So at the wake, oh, that's who took my baby. So at the wake, somebody had taken my baby, and it was an older lady. I knew her, or I don't know if I knew her. I had seen her before, and she had taken my baby. She was looking at the baby. She was looking at me, and I'm crying, and the family looking at me, and she's trying to get to me to ask me a question. But every time she's trying to get to me, somebody is talking to me or something. So just keep that lady in mind. So we go to the funeral. I'm a mess, literally a mess. I can't hold it together. I keep trying to. I got on sunglasses because I'm trying to be chill, baby. They was fogged up, snot, tears, whole nine. It was terrible. Okay, you know, we could not keep it together. It was we couldn't keep it together. So anyway, we get ready to go to the burial, and y'all, when I saw him go down, everybody it was terrible. But then I think his aunt, she walked up to me and she said, I saw the baby yesterday, and I need to ask you a question. And I was like, you know, I'm in tears because I just saw him go down into the ground. and his aunt came over to ask me a question. She asked me, she told me, she said, I saw the baby yesterday and she's still an infant. I have a question to ask you. If you guys are just joining me, my baby daddy is a real comedian, but the jokes are on me. So we're at the burial and she walks over to me and she says, I saw that baby. Is that his baby? And I said, no, it's not his baby. She said, are you sure that that's not his baby? Because I looked at that baby. You're real small and that's a big baby. And she kind of like, I don't know. I said, no, it's not his baby. I wish it were his baby, but it's not. And she said, okay, but you do know that we will take care of you and that baby, right? I said, I know, but it's not his. And I was like, here I am with this man who's gone now. Like, God, he is gone. And not only was he willing to take care of my baby, his family was concerned and they were like, listen, we will jump in. But her whole dad is being literally the worst human being to me. Like, I can't even comprehend it. So the next couple of weeks, y'all, I am disconnected. I am literally on autopilot. I have nothing inside of me. And so one day, my baby daddy comes over and he's like, I want to see the baby. And normally, I have somebody to be a soundboard. So I don't have that now. So I'm just like, okay, you can come and see the baby. So he comes in the house and normally I dart off to another room. I get on the phone with my man, or, just to get distracted. I have none of that now. I feel so lonely and so empty. And I'm just like, God, why couldn't he die? Why would he die? Why would you let this happen? I don't understand. So anyway, I'm so like lost, y'all. And so he's like, what's wrong with you? And I was looking at him and I had no emotions. I was like, the best person I know is dead. And that's all I could say. That's all I could say. That's all I can muster to say out of my mouth. And he's like, wait, who? And he was like, oh, him? I said, yeah. And he was like, I'm so sorry. And y'all, for a minute, he seemed human. And I was like, he's like, I know, he was a good dude. And I was like, okay, all right. I don't know how to respond to this. So I'm just not even responding at all. I'm just not saying anything. So he starts to come over more often and he starts, it's going to be okay. I'm here for you. If you need something. And I am so dysregulated and so emotionally hurt. I really honestly believed him. I'm like, well, maybe he changed, maybe he's better. But I'm still, trying to keep my distance, y'all. I was so discombobulated. I remember one time I was on my way to work. I used to take the train. I was on my way to work and I was sitting there and I thought I was just sitting there looking out the window, watching the stuff go past the train. And this lady walks over to me and she sits in front of me, in the seats in front of me. I didn't think anything of it. She turns to the side and she puts her hand on my shoulder. And I'm sitting here like, why is this lady touching me? She said, it's going to be okay. Whatever it is going to be okay. I promise you, you're going to make it through this. And I'm like, why is she saying that to me? And y'all, I turn and see my reflection in the window of the train and I am bawling. I didn't even know that I was crying. I didn't even know that I was crying. So I'm going back and forth to work. People know at work are like I just started that job and they were like, something is wrong. Are you okay? I was like, no, I'm not okay. And I told them what happened. They were like, you can take time off. You can take time off. You'll get paid time off. You need to go home. And so I was like, okay. So they gave me a week. So I'm at home and the only thing that's keeping me motivated and keeping me going is my baby. She's waking up. She wants to eat. She wants to play. She wants to hang out with mommy. And it was such a blessing to have her in that moment, y'all. I'll tell the world, she saved my life. Literally, I couldn't have made it through this without her. I promise y'all, I couldn't. God knew what he was doing. I couldn't have made it. So the entire time, my baby daddy is coming over a little bit more frequently, and again, I'm not emotionally okay. I'm not even emotionally present. I'm not going to be lie to you guys. I'm going to be completely transparent. I was like emotionally not okay. It was like I just needed something. And he was feeding into that I needed something. He is oh, do you need anything? He was buying the baby stuff at this point in time. He's like coming over, being nice to me, telling me it's going to be okay, ask me how I'm feeling, how I'm doing. And I'm just like, oh, okay, he's doing better. Y'all, literally, he comes over there and he's talking about the baby. He put her to sleep. And mind you, my daughter had her own room with her own crib in it. She's falling asleep. So he walks in the back into my room. And I'm like, why are you back here? And he's like, oh, the baby is sleeping. I was like, okay, so put her in her crib. He's like, okay. So he goes back and puts her in the crib. And I was like, all right, you about to go? And he's like, no, I just want to see how you doing. I want to see how you are. And I'm like, it is what it is. I'm just taking one day at a time. It is what it is. And he's like engaging in conversation. And I'm so, y'all, I feel so dumb for this. But I'm like talking and like expressing how I feel and trying to just trying to be okay. And he is just like, yeah, I know. And next thing I know, he's next to me. He's like, it's going to be okay. He's being nice and he's touching me, you know what I'm saying? But nothing too serious. So I'm not really paying it any attention. The next week he's doing the same thing. And then before I know it, he's like, I want my family. And I was like, you want your family? What are you saying to me? He was like, I want us. And I was like, but you were so mean. He was like, I apologize for all that. I was wrong. I miss you. I want us back. And I promise you, I'm going to be better. And I was thinking about it and I was like, emotionally, I'm still messed up. And I'm just like, well, maybe it could work. Maybe it could work. Because like I said, y'all, I have never wanted to be a baby's mama. That was my biggest fear, to be a baby's mama. And I'm like, well, maybe, maybe he's matured and maybe, it's better. So within 2 months, we slept together. Now, mind you, I hadn't slept with him since the doctor's visit, I think. This is like, my baby's almost 2, okay? And I'm like, and he's being nice. He's coming over. He's doing things like, and I'm feeding all into it, y'all. I'm like, okay, this is working out. He's trying to be a better person. Okay. And I'm telling him that I'm getting ready to move, because in my family's building, my uncle was like, there's an apartment and I want you to move over here so you be closer to the family. He was harassing me to move into the family building, literally harassing me. So I was like, I'm getting ready to move, so I'm going to move over to a bigger place. And he was like, okay. Now, my family had just bought the place. So there was an empty apartment. And my uncle was like, I want you to take the place. So he's like, oh, that's great. We should move in together. And I was like, popping brakes. No, we should not move in together. But, whatever. So it's slowly, kind of getting back to a relationship, but not really a relationship. It's like I'm seeing him. When he sees the baby, we're seeing each other, and, whatever is happening. So this one night, it was like a huge storm in Chicago. Literally, cars were getting stuck in the snow. Snow was up to like our knees. Nobody could get anywhere. And I had just moved into the new place. It was in January. And he was like, my car stopped on State Street, and I can't get anywhere. Nobody can get to me. I can't get through the snow. I need to get to somewhere warm. And the closest place is you, but I have to walk to you. And of course, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, walk to me. So he literally did. He was on the phone with me the whole time, trudging through the snow. It took him like an hour and a half to walk here. And when he got here, he was covered in snow from head to toe. He was shaking like a leaf on the tree. Like, he looked like he was about to die. And of course, I'm super concerned. I'm like, come in. I take all this stuff off of him, and I'm trying to get him warmed up, and he's shaking. And I'm like, come on, you got to come in here and get under the covers because you need to get warmed up. And baby, that was the worst thing I could have ever done. 'cause honey. So he gets to my house. This is where we left off at. He's covered in snow. He's shivering and freezing and cold. So I let him in. I take all his clothes off of him. I'm trying to give him warm blankets and get him under the cover. And I'm really concerned because, like, seriously, y'all, it was terrible that year. It was snow everywhere. Literally, once his stuff defrosted, it was in puddles of water at the front door. Literally, that's how much snow it was. But anyway, so if you guys are just joining me, my baby daddy is a real comedian, but the jokes are on me. Y'all, so the whole time before this even happened, before he came to my house, like, he's calling me at work every day. He's checking on me. He is telling me he's so happy that we're talking again, and he wants his family back, and this is all he wanted to do, and he made such a big mistake before, and I'm eating it up, y'all. I'm literally eating it up. I'm like, okay, maybe this is working out. Like, he made a mistake. And like I told y'all before, my biggest fear was being a baby's mama. Did not want to be just a baby's mama. So I'm soaking it all in. So by this time, he's come over to the house and, he's defrosted. We're in the room. Things go down. But I'm telling him, I'm like, hey, do not do that if y'all get my drift. He's like, I'll let you know. And I'm like, I'm serious. Don't do that. He was like, okay, I won't. So I feel him stop for like a minute or so, maybe two. The whole time he not moving, but he talking to me whole night. Then he start right back up. And then I'm like, okay. And then he's done. And I'm like, what do you mean? Not once, y'all, but twice. If you get my drift, I'm trying not to be too graphic. But if you get, and I'm sitting here like, why would you do that? And he was like, I just love you. And I'm sitting here like, that's just dumb, but whatever. So, y'all, I promise y'all, I kid you not. I promise you guys, I knew it. I got up and I got in the shower and I was just shaking my head like, oh my God. I got dressed. I went to work. We're in a moving walkways at work, and literally I feel a pain in my abdomen, my uterus. And like, it feels like literally somebody's drilling in my uterus, and it made me double over. And I knew in that moment, I said, God, he got me again. I knew it. I just knew it. I was like, I know it. So because it was like literally the next morning, I couldn't just find out that way. So I'm waiting. Whole time the month is going by, like, he is just love bombing me, y'all. And I fell for it again. He is being consistent. He's taking me on dates. We're going out. Like, I'm sitting here in total, utter shock, y'all. I'm literally in shock because I can't really believe this is happening. And I'm starting, not happy, but I'm starting to like breathe a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's okay. It's better. So lo and behold, who's knocked up again? Me. Of course, me. I'm sitting in my room and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just take this pregnancy test. I take the pregnancy test. Immediately it pops up. I am devastated. I'm like, no, you know what? I take that back. I'm not devastated. I'm nothing. I'm just like, wow, I'm pregnant. Wow. Like, I really didn't even have any emotions about it. I wasn't angry. I wasn't happy. I was just like, I knew it. So I call him and I tell him, and he's ecstatic. I'm going to be so much better this time. I promise you I'm not going to put you through any of that. And y'all, he was doing good. I'm telling y'all, he was doing good. He was buying me shoes because I always wore heels all the time. So he was buying me gym shoes. He's like, you need some comfortable shoes. He was taking me on dates. We were going out. We were just doing everything. We were going out as a family with the baby. But, on the side, he was doing things like, you never wear your hair natural. I like the natural. I don't like all of that. And subconsciously I'm hearing that. So, I started not straightening my hair out, not putting any extensions in, just, letting my hair just be natural. And, then he'd be like, I don't like all that makeup and stuff. And I really don't wear a lot of makeup anyway, but I was just like, okay, cool. So, now this man done got me walking around with my hair, and I love my natural hair, but that's not what I was wanting to do at the time. But I was just like, it's okay. I'll do this. So I'm natural hair, no makeup. We're going out. and everything is good. And then he'll turn around and be like, how come you don't ever do your hair? I was like, okay, all right. I am perplexed. Okay, literally perplexed. Because in the one breath, you telling me, I like your hair when it's natural and it's just not straightened out and no extensions and just out curly. So I'm doing that. Now you talking about some why I don't do my hair. Then you telling me like, oh, look at this person, and they got on full face of makeup. But you telling me that you don't want me to wear no makeup. So I'm over here perplexed, y'all. I'm pregnant. I'm halfway emotionless. I'm just trying to get through this. And I'm trying to just hang on to every good thing. But y'all, it was starting to happen. But he was still doing good. I wouldn't allow him to come to the doctor's office with me anymore. Like, he would just drive me. I would go to my appointment. He'd wait downstairs, and then I'd come back. He was picking up my baby, taking her to daycare, bringing her back. I never had to worry about taking her, bringing her. He was taking me to the grocery store all the time, literally feeding me all the time, bringing me stuff. He was doing a good job. Like, we were doing family stuff, y'all. And I was thinking, like, maybe this is going to be okay. So, closer to my due date, he started saying, you're going to need some help with these babies. You can't be by yourself with 2 kids. My lease is coming up. So what do you think about us moving in together? And I was like, moving in together? He was like, you're going to need help because you got a little bit, our baby is little. And then plus you having another baby, you're going to need some help. And I was like, you know what? You are right. So this is going on for the whole pregnancy. And then there was this one time, the school called me. They were like, hey, your baby hasn't been picked up yet, and it's past 6:00. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, hold on, I'm so sorry. And it was like, 6:06? So I'm calling him. He's like, I'm rushing. I'm on my way there now. So he get back to the house, and when he get back to the house with the baby, he's so happy, and he's just jovial, and he's just glowing. And I'm like, okay, why would you He was like, oh, some stuff happened and blah, some excuse. Y'all, I open up the gate to let him in. And when I open up the gate to let him in, he goes to he picks my baby up, put her on his hip. He kisses her, and then he leans in to kiss me. And you know that faint smell of vagina? I could smell it on his face. I was so disappointed with myself. I was like, here we go again. But now I am super pregnant. I got a little 3-year-old right here. And this is life. This is life. Y'all know what I did? I threw that to the back of my head. I told him about it. I said, don't you ever come in my house or put your mouth on me or my baby after you've been playing in vagina with your face. Are you kidding me? And we talked about it, and he was like, well, are we going to be official? Because I didn't know that we were official. Gaslighting the hell out of me, and I'm just sucking it in. So I forget that out of my mind. I'm just like, you know what? Just let it go, Tara. Just let it go. We didn't say what we were doing, whatever. So he like, okay, so we gonna be together? And I was like, yeah. So y'all, he bringing me over to his apartment. He want me to stay with him. He's like, I just want you over here with me for the week. And so I'm staying over at his place for the week. But as you know, his lease is coming up. Keep that in mind. So I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna start moving, packing this stuff up or whatever. And then one day he get a call. He on the phone call. Then he called me back. No, not call me back. He come back in the room. He's like, I'm gonna take y'all home today. And I was like, okay, that was real quick. So he pack us up. He bring us home. The next day, I'm hearing small pieces. Like, he's not conversing with me. I don't hear him at all. Like, he called me, y'all good? Okay, bye. And that's it. So for 3-4 days, I don't see him. Now he's picking up the baby, dropping her off, but he dropping her off to my mom. I don't see him, and we've been together every day. So what is happening? So I'm like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. I'm pregnant. I got to focus on this baby. I got to make sure that this baby is cool. Y'all, one day I am just in there, and I'm calling him, and he's answering the phone and hanging up, answering the phone and hanging up. I'm like, what is going on? Please tell me why. I'm just a girl. I get on his Facebook, and I see that there's one person that keep liking all his stuff and talking about his stuff. I click on her page.
Please tell me why.
So let's back it up really quickly because I forgot a couple things that was quite important. So he had lost his job, his like 9-to-5 job, but he was still doing comedy, and he would tell me that he had shows out of town. So he was flying on my benefits, and he was also using my uncle's one of my uncle's discounts, so rental car discounts. So he really wasn't paying a whole bunch to go out of town for his shows. So this one particular time, well, before that, he had been just put in my ear, hey, we're going to be a family. We're going to live together. Why, you should take me off child support. And I'm like, well, the money's going to be in the same household, so it really doesn't make any sense. And he was like, well, I don't really want the state in our business. We can handle this. We're family. So my naive self decided, okay, we can go and do that. So the day that we get ready to go down to do this, I'm in so much pain. I literally have sciatica. My feet are swollen. I'm completely out of breath. It's like I'm 7.5 months pregnant, and I can barely breathe because the baby is pushing on everything. He is huge. I am not huge at all. I'm small. Like from the back, you couldn't even tell I was pregnant. Then I turned to the side. You like, whoa, mama. So I'm wobbling, making my way downtown. But anyway, making my way downtown, literally. So I get there, and we're sitting waiting to see the judge. And he's been kind of standoffish and like in his phone a lot and giggling on his phone, all kind of stuff. And I knew this change had started like 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, what is happening here? Whatever. So I remember he looked down at my ankles and was like, your ankles are ashy and your feet are ashy. I was like, well, I can barely see my feet and ankles. Like, you could have just said, let me help you, or here's some lotion. He was like, no, I'm not doing that. So we're waiting to see the judge. We get up to the judge. The judge is like, so you guys want to take him off child support? I said, yes. He said, why? I was like, well, because I'm having his second baby and we're going to try to be a family. And he said, oh, okay, well, good luck with that. Because I'm sure he already knew. He was like, poor girl, poor girl. So y'all, right after the judge stamps the paper and tell us we're dismissed, he runs out of the courtroom. And he's walking super fast to the escalator. Now I'm wobbling. I could barely keep up. I'm like, slow down. You walking too fast. He gets to the escalator and he starts two-stepping up the escalator. So I get to the escalator and I'm just holding on because I'm out of breath and just like, why is he running so fast? Y'all, I look up. He darts up the rest of the escalator and shoots out the court building. And I was like, where did he go? So I wait and I get up the escalator and I wobble outside. Y'all, he is nowhere to be found. And I'm looking around, so I start calling him immediately, blowing his phone up. He is not responding to anything. So I wobble over to the city of Chicago has these planters, high planters outside of the court building, the city building. So I sit down and I'm sitting there trying to catch my breath and I'm in so much pain. And I'm just like, well, maybe he went to go get the car. So I'm sitting there, 5 minutes go by, 10 minutes go by, 15 minutes go by, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. At this point, I'm like, did this man leave me? Why would he do that? So I burst into tears. I'm sitting here crying, trying to wipe my eyes because I'm embarrassed. People walking past like, are you okay? Because I'm hella pregnant, like stupid pregnant. And they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Then I feel myself getting sick. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get me something to eat. Because if I don't eat, I'm going to be sick for the rest of the day. So I look across the street and there's a Panera Bread. So I go to the Panera Bread. I get me a sandwich, something to, some soup and something to drink. So I'm sitting there, I'm eating my food. And I'm just sitting there like, why would this man do this? And I'm steady whole time. I'm calling. And then eventually I just stop. I'm like, well, I'm just going to finish my food. I'm going to call my mom because my friends and stuff were at work and I didn't want to disturb them at work. And I was embarrassed. Real talk. I was embarrassed. So I'm eating my food. And right when I pick my phone up to call my mother, he calls me and I'm like, hello? I'm like, why would you leave me? Mind you, this like an hour and a half later. He says, you still downtown? You could have been at home by now. Why are you still downtown? I was like, I told you I can barely walk and I'm in so much pain. You ain't in that much pain. I just said, okay. And I'm getting ready to hang the phone up. He goes, is that you sitting in the Panera Bread? Is that you I'm looking at? I'm like, yeah. He's like, come get in the car. So I'm sitting here like, what is wrong with this? Is he mentally ill? He's got to be mentally ill. So I'm like, whatever. So I get in the car. The whole time he like, what, you mad now? You mad? You upset? You mad? I'm not even engaging. I'm just like, this is life. I got to deal with this. This is what I signed up for. This is what I did to myself, all because I didn't want to have an abortion, because I didn't really believe in abortions like that. And then plus I'm super grown. I'm like, whatever. This is my cross to bear. I'm just gonna be quiet. So we get back to the house, and stuff is all the way until right before I get ready to give birth. Stuff is just weird. And I know that it's weird, but I do not have time to invest in the weirdness. I do not have time, because I'm just trying to get everything together. You know, that nesting period. So I'm like, it's just whatever. I don't even care what he does. So some days he's nice. Some days he's not. Some days he's so kind. Some days he's not, to the point where I don't even care. And so we get, the night that I went into labor, he comes to pick us up. My mom comes with me. We go to the labor and delivery. We're in there, and everything is going fine. I'm in pain, but he's trying to make jokes, and he's like, it's not that bad. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why would I ever invite him in? I was so annoyed, y'all. Like, I was thinking to myself, why would I tell him I was in labor? I should have just came in and did it myself. He in there, I couldn't miss my son being born and blah, blah, blah. This is my only son. Who's that? Blah, skippy. Annoying the hell out of me. I'm like, just sit down and shut up. That's all I need you to do. So right before it's time for me to push, the nurses are reaching, and they're like, I can't recognize this, what I'm feeling. So they come back in, they reaching up. I don't know what part of the baby this is that I'm feeling. And so finally they call the doctor, and the doctor was like, oh, that's his gums and jaws and cheeks and nose that you guys are feeling. He's getting ready to come out. I forget what they call it, but he was coming out nose and mouth first. And this was a medical emergency, or so they said. So they're like, everybody has to get out. And you can only choose one person. I'm like, well, I want my mama to be in here. And he's like, I want to see my son being born. So I'm like, oh my God. So my mom's like, just let him. So she goes out, takes my baby, and everybody is just out there waiting. So like 20 doctors run into the room, and I'm like, what is going on? They're like, this is going to be a painful and a terrible delivery. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, this is going to be a very painful and very terrible labor. We have to have people here for just in case a medical emergency happen, which is going to happen. And in my mind, I was like, a medical emergency is not going to happen in the name of Jesus. No ma'am, no Pam, no ham. This baby is going to come out. Everything they were saying, I was speaking right against it. This is going to be hurtful. It's not going to be hurtful. This is going to be painful. It's not going to be painful. This is going to be in a medical emergency. This is not going to be a medical emergency. This is going to be a long delivery. This is not going to be a long delivery. I'm like, y'all ain't finna speak this over me. So I prep myself and I'm ready, because I'm like, I can't depend on this man. Like, I can't depend on him to have my back in a medical emergency. So we cannot have a medical emergency, because no. So I look up at him. He's sweating bullets. Pure bullets. Literal awful bullets. Then I realized that he ain't been at none of the births. This his first real life birth. All them kids, and he ain't see him come out. So he's shooting bullets. I said, I look at him, you can see pure fear and panic all over his face. I said, are you scared? Because I am. He was like, no, I ain't scared. He was terrified. Okay, literally terrified. So the doctors and the nurses all got on gloves and sterile kits and blue faces and shiny masks, and I'm surrounded. And then I look up at this man, which is no support, who was over there. I thought he was about to vomit or pass out. I'm like, God, it's me and you then. It's me and you. So I sit up and I go to push. And I'm pushing and I'm pushing. And like, I can feel him coming and coming back up. And they were like, he's going to rip you wide open. I said, oh my God, he is not going to rip me wide open in the name of Jesus. So I push, he comes out. He holds the baby. They hold the baby up and rush him over to the side where, they have the medical kit and everything. My baby daddy take a picture of the baby and then take the picture out to my mama. All y'all hear is, whose baby is that? And she comes busting into the room. So I look over at my baby, y'all. He was so ugly. I said, oh my God, you done stressed me out so bad. I had an ugly baby. Oh, I was so hurt, y'all. I was like, I cannot believe my baby ugly. He is ugly. I'm gonna show y'all a picture of the baby, but he got much better. We left off when I had just had the baby and he was ugly, and I was sad because I'm like, he stressed me out and made me have an ugly baby. This is what my daughter looked like when she was first born. This is what my son looked like. But then later on, he looked like that. He started to look like a reborn baby doll. Like, he was so adorable. But it took a couple days. If you guys are just joining me for the first time, my baby daddy is a real comedian, but the jokes have been on me. So we leave off where we're in the hospital, and I had just had the baby. Everything is hurting. The only thing I can feel is hunger. I was like, I need something to eat, y'all. Like, I know the baby out of me, but I'm still starving. So I remember the nurse was like, we're going to order your food down here. So by the time you get upstairs, it'll be coming to you. She was so kind to me, you guys. So we get all of this stuff together. My mom's getting my daughter's things, packing them all up, and my baby daddy just walking around back and forth like he's doing something, really not doing nothing. So they go to push me upstairs. Whole time we're walking in the hallway, you know, the push person, not the nurse, not the CNA, not the doctor, the push person. He's asked, so how long are we gonna be in here? About how many days? And she's like, well, you know, I don't know, but like, I'm not sure. You have to ask your doctor. So he's like, yeah, because I need to start getting this stuff moved. I need to start moving this stuff. And I'm sitting there like, sir, I can't feel my coochie. And you talking about moving things? Sir, please stop. I'm over here trying to figure out what just happened to me, okay? So, still, he's talking about it the whole time. I'm ignoring him because I'm like, I need to eat. And right now, I can't feel my coochie. Like, I can't feel nothing down there. It's just all pain. I don't know what nothing is. I can't tell my butt cheeks from my thighs at this point. And you talking about a move. So we get to the hospital and, excuse me, not the hospital. We get to our recovery room. So I tell my mom, they had been there all night with my daughter. So I was like, go, Mom, you can go home and take my baby home and get her together and let you guys rest. And my mom was like, okay, because my baby daddy's supposed to stay here. Well, as soon as my mother leaves, a couple hours later, he like, I'm going to be right back. He leaves me there by myself. I'm like, I literally could have had my family members here. I could have had my cousins here. I could have had my friends here. But you so badly want to see your baby being born and you leave me in the hospital by myself? Literally hours after I just had this baby? Cool. I really wasn't worried about it too much, to be honest with y'all, because it was peace and quiet and I was tired and they had taken the baby and I was hoping the baby get a little oxygen like my mama said and he'll start to look better, which he did, you guys. So the next day he comes back and I'm telling him I need a stroller. And he's like, okay. I'm like, I told you the stroller that I wanted to get. My mom was going to get it. My friends were going to get it, but he insisted on getting the stroller. I said, I showed you what I wanted, right? Because it was one of those strollers where even if I were holding him, I could let the stroller down real fast with one hand and take care of it. So, and it was very convenient and it was tall because I'm kind of tall. I'm 5'10" and I don't want to be hunched over trying to roll the stroller. And plus it had the car seat connect. You can't leave the hospital without the car seat. He's like, I got it. I'm gonna get it. So, okay, cool. So, he goes to get the car seat. Y'all, he comes back with a stroller and a car seat that looked like it was from 10 years ago. It was new, but it was like the jankiest stroller I had ever seen. And I'm sitting here like, if you couldn't get the stroller that I wanted and that I showed you, why wouldn't you just say that? Because my family would have gotten it. My friends would have gotten it. I was so upset. I was like, you know what? It's just a stroller, Tara. It's a stroller. It's cool. So then they come around at the hospital that I delivered at. They come around, they bring you these wonderful recovery shakes, and then they do a baby and me photo shoot. So I was so excited, y'all. I had bought the matching gown and like little baby outfit for the baby so that we could take these pictures. So they come around. He's back now. They come around and they're posing him in such, oh my God, such cute poses. And then they're posing him with me. They're posing him with my baby daddy, and then all of us together. Pictures were magnificent. I was so excited about them. So then, and he seemed to be excited with the pictures too. He was like, oh my gosh, look at these. My son looks so good. Oh my gosh. And we were having a little moment, you know. Please tell me when the price list comes around, he looks at the photos and says, look at your teeth. Look at my teeth. Look at your teeth compared to my teeth. They look terrible. Y'all, my teeth shifted during these 2 pregnancies. And you gonna talking about some look at my teeth? And then he compares you, a whole man. You're comparing your teeth to a whole woman who just carried your baby and pushed him out. Oh, okay. Now I know he did that because he didn't want to pay for the pictures. Whole time I was going to pay for the pictures because my mom was going to pay for them. But anyway, I was so devastated, y'all. I never got the pictures. I couldn't believe he had pointed that out. I was so sad about that. I literally was like, of all the things to say, you say, look at my teeth. My teeth look like this because I pushed out 2 babies and carried 2 10-pound babies damn near. But it's okay. It's cool. So they had told me, when I had an epidural, they had told me I needed to wear a leg brace because I wasn't sturdy on my left leg. And they said they needed me to keep this brace on until like all of the epidural wore off and I had my all my feeling back so that I wouldn't fall with the baby. So when he came back in the room, they were putting the brace on me. And I had to do the standing up and sitting down, blood pressure, all that stuff. He was like, why you got that brace on? I said, well, because they don't want me to fall. You ain't gonna fall. Take that off. What? The entire staff, nurses and doctors, says I need this leg brace. Do you want me to fall? Are you kidding me? And he was like, yeah, you fine. You're fine. You walked to the bathroom earlier. I was just like, God, in thy great name. God, in thy great name, just help me. Then they come around. They want to talk about the names and the birth certificate and stuff. Now, I told y'all in the previous video what he was doing with my daughter. He's doing the same exact thing. He's giving me outrageous names so that he can get the name that he wanted. It didn't work with my daughter because I wasn't talking to him at all. I was like, you have no say-so in any of this. So now I'm trying to give him a say-so. He's telling me I want my son to have an African name. And I was like, okay, that's fine. What names are you thinking about? This man says, Leakin Busati. Sir, my son is not going to be in 2nd grade and people calling him leaking booty. No, thank you. It's not going to happen. So he finally says a normal name that I agree with. And that was his whole setup anyway. And then on top of it, he's like, I don't want the baby to have my last name because I'm named after a man that ain't even my father. And I was like, must suck for you. So anyway, we're getting ready to go home. So I got this ugly stroller that's too short for me, so bulky, and I'm just so disappointed. I'm like, I can't win for losing with this man, okay? So we get to the house, and I can't go to the 3rd floor. This is the apartment that I had taken. I can't go to the 3rd floor just yet because of my leg. So I'm downstairs, and again, my village is taking care of me. Oh, but he don't like to see that. He don't like to see that. We need to go upstairs so you can learn how to take care of yourself. What? Why do I have to take care of myself right now? And I have people to help me, and I just had a baby, and my coochie falling off, and my leg barely work, and it's milk coming out of my titties, and I have you as a baby daddy. Like, are you serious? So as soon as we get there, he literally darts. I gotta go. He started packing up all his stuff at the apartment, bringing it over. Literally, y'all, this like the 2nd day I'm home. I had just made it upstairs to the 3rd floor. He moving stuff. This TV he brought into my house literally looked like a small car. You know those big old giant like 60 screen TVs, but like the ones from 1990 because it was giant. It looked like a giant refrigerator with a screen on the front of it. Bring this old broke TV in here, all his stuff, and I'm just sitting in the room like, he moving all this garbage in here. But okay. Then I don't have my clothes in the room that I sleep in. So I had all my clothes in the extra bedroom, and that's where I would get dressed at. And I was like, okay, this is supposed to be the baby's room, but he wouldn't help me get it together. So it was just a room full of clothes. And now it's got my clothes in there. It's got my daughter's clothes in there. And now it also has, some of the baby stuff. So it's starting to get a little junky in there. But, it is what it is. I'm doing my best. My family is helping me. They're wrapping me up. All of this. So he gets all of his stuff in here. And then he says to me, yeah, because they wasn't getting ready to put my stuff out. Y'all, whole time he was getting evicted from his apartment. They were going back and forth in court, and he needed somewhere to stay. So this is where this entire setup to move to my house came from. I'm talking to him and I'm like, did you know you was getting evicted? He like, no, listen. See, what happened is I knew that we were going to be moving together and we were going to be a family, so I just kind of let it happen. What grown man just kind of lets it happen? If you're just joining me, this is the first video you're seeing. My baby daddy is a real comedian, but the jokes are on me. So I'm like, why would you do this? I'm like, nah, this man, he got me. But mind you, I'm still kind of numb. I had postpartum, didn't know what it was at the time. Also, I still haven't dealt with the trauma of the past videos I told y'all about. So I'm like, I'm kind of numb on the inside. So I'm like, he lying, but whatever. The first couple weeks, he was great. Don't get me wrong. He was getting everything that I needed him to get. He was buying everything. You know, he had paid half the rent. Everything was good. We chilling. No problems. But that's because I couldn't go nowhere and I couldn't do anything. So I started to feel a little bit better. Started going to my 6 weeks appointment for my checkup. Still wasn't fully healed. But, you know, I was getting there. I come home. He talking about did they give you them daddy stitches? I'm like, as if, sir. Please stop. So, I'm starting to get up, go to the grocery store. My cousins are with me, especially my one cousin. She was like my nanny for a long time. She just was so helpful. Like anything I needed, she was helping me do it. So I was going to the grocery store. I was going to get my nails done and my toes done and things of that sort. Just to, you know, get out the house and try to feel like myself again. Because I've always kept my nails done, my toes done. Like I just like, and my hair done because I just like to look cute. Even if I'm not doing anything. So here comes November. Okay. He's got a comedy show that he needs to go to. November 11th, I believe. I could be off with that date, but I think it was November 11th. He's got a comedy show. So I'm like, okay, you know, everything's been doing good. We've been being a family. Everything is kosher. I'm going to help him out with the comedy show. This time he doesn't want to use my flight benefits. And I'm okay because, no, it's not that he doesn't want, he can't use them because I'm on maternity leave. So he's like, I got a show. I'm going to it. I'm going to rent a car, blase. Cool. He's like, I'm going to be gone for a couple days. I want to make sure somebody's here with you and the baby. Is your cousin going to stay up here? I'm like, yeah, she's going to stay up here. So he's like, well, I got to get to the airport at this time. I got to be there about, like, it was early in the morning. So is she going to be able to be up? I'm like, yeah. So my cousin gets up. She comes down from the garden apartment. She's helping me get the baby, helping me with my daughter. And I'm getting him, I even went and got him an energy drink because I'm like, he been up all night. He's going to be tired. So I went and got him a little 5-hour energy drink and, you know, just preparing to take him to the airport. We get him all packed up. He looking super nice. Now, my baby daddy is not unattractive. Well, he is to me, but before was a very attractive man. Most people think he's very attractive. So he dressed to the nines early in the morning. I said, okay, baby daddy, I see you. So we get to the airport. We drop him off. He like, I'm gonna miss y'all. He hugging me, kissing me, grabbing my butt. I'm like, this new, but okay. He's super like jovial and excited and I'm gonna miss y'all and kissing the babies. Let me kiss the baby one more time. Let me kiss my daughter one more time. And I'm like, oh, this is nice. This is what y'all need to remember. Anytime he would go somewhere, if he went to the grocery store, hey, I'm at the grocery store. He go to hang out with his friends. Hey, I'm with my friends. Hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. He calling me the whole time that he's moving me. Every time he goes somewhere, he calling me and letting me know. He's like, I'm going to call you once I land. So I know, like, I can log into all the flight stuff and I know that he's landed. But he hasn't called me or said anything. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to give him time to do whatever. Still ain't called me. So finally he calls me and he was like, I'm on the train. And he's like FaceTiming me. He's showing me the train. And I'm like, dang, I thought that you was going to call me when you landed. He's like, I know, I got so busy, blah, blah, blah. And before I knew it, hours had gone by and you know, but I'm getting settled. And I'm like, okay, fine. Call me when you get to the hotel. He was like, okay. Now, the only reason why I asked him to call me is because that's just what he did. So he ain't calling me. And I'm sitting here like, why he ain't call? Is everything okay? Let me call to see if he's okay. So I'm calling him and he's pressing ignore. And I was like, why is he ignoring my call? So I called him again. He pressed ignore. And then I was like, well, maybe he's doing the show. I'm like, no, that's tomorrow. So let me go on his Facebook because I'm just a girl. So I go on his Facebook page, y'all. And I see that he's taking a picture, a few pictures. The first picture is like when he landed. Another picture is at, I think it was a football or, no, it was at a basketball stadium. I'm like, oh, he didn't tell me he was going to a basketball game. It's cool. And I see a comment about somebody saying, oh, you look so good, or heart faces or something. I said, well, who is this? Let's click on here and see. So I click, and lo and behold, I see my baby daddy with somebody. Well, we just gonna say with somebody. Y'all know it's always worse. So I'm sitting here like, hold on. So I'm clicking through. Then I go back to his page and I see him with a video up at like 2 or 3 in the morning. Remember I told y'all he couldn't sleep. He's like, I don't know why I'm like this. Every time before I go to out of town, I can't never sleep. I just be up. And she commented, me too. I can't wait to see you. And I said, no. Say dog, no. So I click on her page. It's her birthday. And my baby daddy is posed up with her. Remember he FaceTimed me at the train station? Oh, he was with her at the train station. But he had walked down some to video her because there was a picture of her taking a picture of herself, and he in the background with the FaceTime up. Child. They done went out to dinner. They done went to a basketball game. They done went everywhere. And I am just like, I knew it. It was too good to be true. I knew it. Mind y'all, I am literally emotionless at this time. I'm just like, I'm so sick. Like, I'm just so sick of this. Like, I just can't catch a break. So I said, all right. My first mind was like, blow his spot up. And I was like, no, that ain't gonna change nothing. So I was like, all right. At this point, I had made a decision. I still need help with this brand new baby and getting my baby back and forth to school. I need help, okay? He need help. He ain't got no job, nowhere to live. And he got the car. So I had made the decision. I have an extra room off of the kitchen, which used to be like maid quarters. So I said, that's where you finna go, because it has a bathroom and everything. I said, that's where you're gonna go. I ain't tell him this yet. I'm just going over this in my mind. That's where you're gonna go. We're gonna be roommates. You're gonna help me with these babies. And that's just gonna be it. So that day, I called my friends. I told them. They were like, oh my God. I said, I know. They're like, why are you not freaking out? I was like, for what? What is that gonna solve? What is that gonna solve? He is who he say he is. I mean, he is who y'all seen him to be. I'm not gonna change that. So I took all of his things out of my closet, out of the walk-in closet. I did do something petty. I was like, I'm finna throw all your stuff on the porch, because I was taking it out of the closet and putting it on the bed. He was like, you better not touch my stuff. You better not touch my stuff. I swear. What, you better not? I'm like, what you gonna do? You touch my stuff, you gonna see. You gonna see. So mind you, he's supposed to be on a trip for the week. So I take all this stuff out. I put it all in the back room, just threw it in there, okay? When I put it in there, I forgot what I did. I don't know. I just put all the stuff. I remember putting all the stuff in there. And then so I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be here lonely and sad. I called all my friends. I was like, hey, y'all come over and I'm going to cook for everybody. And we're just going to chill and have a good day. So that's what I did. Honey, as my friends are having a good time with party, my doorbell is ringing off the chain. He don't have no keys, y'all, because I got the car and the keys. Ding, 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 ding. So I answered the door. I was like, what are you doing here? You still supposed to be out of town. Why are you here? He's like, I just came home early. I came.
Mm.